I wanted a straightforward two-channel setup with real power and clean output, and this amplifier delivered exactly that in my room. With efficient 8-ohm speakers, it stayed composed at higher levels without grain or obvious strain. The presentation felt stable and controlled, with solid stereo placement and enough weight to keep music engaging even during longer listening sessions.
What I appreciated most was how practical the feature set is for mixed sources. I could run digital audio from my TV, feed music from network gear, and still keep analog paths active for older components. That flexibility let me simplify the rack instead of adding more boxes. While preserving the classic two-channel workflow, I actually prefer over complicated surround processing for everyday use.
The amplifier character felt neutral but not sterile. Vocals stayed clear, bass lines had structure, and upper frequencies remained smooth enough that I did not rush to adjust tone controls. On cleaner recordings, imaging opened up nicely between the speakers. On denser material, it kept separation better than expected, which made the whole system easier to enjoy at both quiet and moderate levels.
I also liked how this kind of design bridges modern playback and legacy gear. I can keep turntable listening in rotation while still using digital inputs for TV and streaming front ends. That matters because I do not want separate systems for each source type. Having one reliable amplifier as the center keeps the setup coherent and cuts down friction when switching listening modes.
Power delivery felt convincing with both bookshelf and floor-standing speakers. I did not hear hum issues in my chain, and the background remained quiet enough to make small details easier to notice. At louder settings, transients still had shape instead of flattening out, and low end stayed controlled. That gave me confidence to use it for focused listening instead of only casual background playback.
The loudness and tone options are genuinely useful in real rooms. At lower evening levels, I could maintain body in the bass and mid-range without overcooking treble. When I wanted a cleaner path, direct mode simplified things and kept the presentation tight. Having both approaches available made the amp adaptable, because I could tune quickly for mood, source quality, and playback volume.
I run a mix of modern and older sources, so input behavior matters to me as much as headline specs. Digital connections were easy to integrate for TV and streamers, while analog inputs remained stable for legacy devices. Once levels were dialed in, source switching felt predictable and smooth. That operational consistency is a big reason the system became part of my daily routine.
Build and control feel old school in a good way. The front panel gives immediate access to core functions, and remote control handles everyday adjustments without menu diving. I especially like that the overall interaction stays tactile and direct because it makes listening feel intentional. It is one of those components that invites use rather than disappearing behind layers of software complexity.
In terms of value, this class of integrated amplifier makes a lot of sense when I want better two-channel performance without stepping into far higher pricing tiers. It offers enough current, useful connectivity, and straightforward operation in one chassis. I can build a complete daily system around it and focus on albums instead of constantly changing gear to chase incremental differences.
I did note a few limitations that are easy to work around once understood.